There we go. Oh, this microphone's way too far away. Hold on, give me a second here, guys. Something like that should be a lot better. Now, okay, so hello and welcome to all you guys. We have Henrik over on Twitch. We have Commander Chief. We have Jack Donkloros here. Macas Gaming from last time, and lots of other people now beginning to show up in chat. So hold on, I need to move this microphone a little bit. There we go, so I can actually. Is the distance still good? Yeah, distance is still good. Okay, so today I thought I would make this a little bit of a casual stream. Take it nice and easy today, and talk a little bit about the whole 3.1 update and the whole, like, the way it's gonna be rolling it out, and what I think in terms of time frame when we're gonna see the update actually go live for all you guys playing on consoles. So we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna watch some of the videos that's been launched. We're gonna look at some forum posts and all that stuff. And while I'm doing that, I'll do some casual material collecting here in the background. I might comment on that as well while we are flying around. I've just been out here in Robigo to stack up on biotech conductors. So I have 40 of them now. So that should be plenty. Galactic Overlord says, ain't you a developer? Not a game developer, but I'm a software developer, yeah. Cracking up asteroids, yeah. So, before we begin talking about all that stuff, I need to find, because the reason why I was getting biotech conductors, get you guys over here, was because I need to do a little bit of cross trading with them. So let's see, system and stations. We want to fight the nearest material trader. Howdy from Sweden. Oh, people asking what I'm eating. Licorice. It's like I don't know, I hope you guys know what licorice is. It's like black candy. Tastes really well. So I need to go to Young Duck, I guess. So something a little bit. That's a little bit close. Let's take this one instead. And let's head to that system instead. Because I think that I need a manufacturer trader so I can begin to go and do my cross trading. So that's going to be our first stop. Why is this system bookmarked? Oh, okay. That's why. See, that's one of the listing posts. There was the listing post I did last time. I can delete that. That was probably how I found it last time. I must have been out here in Robigo, look for a manufacturer trader. Then I found this one. You know what? We should keep an eye out for more listing posts out in this area, because the last one that we found in this area was extremely fun. So let's just head out. How many jumps do we have? We have nope. Oh, we can't count it now. Okay, let's get outside the station. And Roger says hello from Norway. Do you think that releasing chunks of content has more chances to have more bugs, problems than releasing the whole package at once? That's actually a good question. I guess if you are deploying a large package at once, of course there will be more code. That means there will be more bugs. But it's also easier for you to do. I don't know. Is it actually? I think if it was easier to do like a combined testing of the whole thing, because sometimes when you correct something over here, you will end up breaking something over here. That's not uncommon that happens. That you correct something and then break something else because you didn't correct it right. So I would probably say that it's easier to do it in small chunks. Like make one piece of the code, make that work. I mean, that is after all. I mean, when you are developing code, it's not like you sit down and you say, okay, now I need to write this massive piece of software that can do a lot of things, and then I just write everything and then I test it. You always write like a small chunk and then you test that chunk, make sure that small, like one function that performs and does exactly what it should do, and then once you're sure that works, you then move on to the next one, and then you make sure that works, and then you make sure those two works together, and then you move on to the next one. You make the third thing and make sure that works on its own, and then you try to plug that into the rest of the code, and you like constantly add on small things. So as you can see, there's already this natural progression when you're developing things. So I would guess that it would come naturally to release it in smaller chunks. Correct. That methodology is for alpha. I wouldn't even call it alpha. It would. I mean, alpha means that you send it over to internal testing. I mean, in my book at least, that means internal testing. This is before it even leaves the developer's computer. Before he even checks that into any repository anywhere, he has done those. He should at least have done those tests. Of course, when things begins to get up to a scale of elite, it's difficult because you already have so many different modules. And how do you test if all of them, or if a new module doesn't break something else somewhere, or a change doesn't break something else? You can't test everything, but that's why you need good test cases. But I guess the same principle, just as when you're developing code, I guess the same principle will work. I mean, with larger deployments, I personally would prefer to do small chunks and then say, okay, now we have an MVP. Then once the MVP is working, we push that, make sure that is out, and then we begin to add features later. But before we actually move on, I just want to let's just quickly have a look at the video that Frontier had. Hold on, I'm gonna mute the in-game sound. Can I do that somehow? I think I should just go in here and go to audio. And this is where this game really needs a master volume, which it does not have. So we're just gonna mute everything here. Boom. Be silent. No, because I wanted to have a look at the video in case some of you haven't seen it yet. I assume many of you have. Let's get over here. Let's just have. I'm gonna pause it. Like it's only 45 seconds. So let's watch the whole thing and then let's pause it and watch it. Let's watch it together here in small steps. But let's start by watching the whole thing in its entirety. And as you guys are correctly posting in chat, nope, don't also play Obsidian's video now. That yes, it is about 15 seconds of content and 30 seconds logo, just as with the last one. It is They really like to hype their own logo for this. No, so that's the video. Shh, don't do that. Let's try to break it down a bit, and let's have a look at it again, because there's some quite interesting things here. So for this time, I'm gonna turn the volume down a bit. So first of all, we have Elite Dangerous logo. This is the top of the thing, right? The small head in the middle. That's just the head of that. Okay, so here we have what looks like that's clearly a star, but notice here how diffused it is. So it seems to me, what the hell is that? That's some kind of thingy up there. Anyway, look how diffused it is. That to me tells me that now, before nebulas was, if you flew into a nebula, you would basically just look, you could see the nebula around you, it would be part of the backdrop, but it would not actually affect the system. It might affect the system lighting a bit, but it wouldn't really affect inside the system. It looks like it's gonna do that now, because look how, it might just be that it's that they added some blur there, but for like a cinematic effect, but I doubt that. Also look at those thrusters there. We're gonna get a closer look at them in a second here. Lightnings, there we go. Looks a lot like a crate, but the thrusters back here are of course completely different. So this is the crate Phantom. I think everybody pretty much agrees that's the crate Phantom. You get a view from inside the cockpit. We don't see the hologram down here. Not a lot of other clues. And of course we have the lightning here in the background, which is obviously going to be part of the new environmental effects that they're going to add. I hopefully inside nebulas. I don't know if that really makes sense, but well, I guess. So that's all interesting. New crate is definitely coming out. There's gotta be more ships, I think. And here we have Elite Dangerous logo. Okay. So here's some interesting things. All right. This is what seems to me like the whole squadron thing. I mean, we have the Fatherhood here, which is a known player group. And we can see here we have a member count, clearly showing here. And in this case here, we also have a language listed. But look at this. Then we have this small check mark. I guess that means if you can actually apply here. Look closer, the lightning produces its own light. Yeah, I noticed that if you look at the lightning here, how it lights up the inside of the cockpit. Which is actually a pretty big deal, because so far, even if you have a secondary star, it doesn't produce as much light as the main star. So that's worth noticing. Anyway, that icon, the small white man with a V here, I'm not sure what that means. But clearly there is some allegiance to various factions. And then there is this icon here, which I have no idea what it means. And I guess what's in the brackets here is the tag. So Jameson's Falcons here would be Jams. And I guess that is where you put your tag, and that's the name of it. But clearly it looks like the factions are going to be able to be aligned with a certain faction. Okay. And look at that, you can have a motto of the day. Darkoid hunting every Tuesday. Hunt is on from 7 PM. Just trying to... So we have Squadron Management, Squadron Alliance. Oh, so you can probably put Squadron into alliances, it looks like. And there's some kind of leaderboard. whatever that is. Faction status. We have a home system, influence, economy. So that's it looks like the squadrons is gonna be pretty much happiness rating exactly. No idea. This looks like this is the management interface. This looks like what the squadron leaders is gonna be able to see. I'm not sure what. I mean, it looks like these are gonna be tied into the whole BGS thing. And out here, this is very blurry. Here's this gold, silver, bronze. And then we have, of course, pending applications, total member count, and members online. Oh, I wanted to get that last frame there. I have no idea what this is. Seasonal leaderboards, maybe. Oh yeah, no, do you notice this? Here, there's economy, and then there's this bar down here which does something. But look at that, there's a second bar underneath which we can't see what it is. So there's something else there. And we have more logo. Again, we have to create Phantom. Which clearly now have some new scanner. Zoom in and enhance. Doesn't work like that. That's only in crappy sci-fi movies. So this is clearly some kind of scanner that they are charging up that scans the asteroids. And I think there's like just a few frames where you can actually see when it locates something. There. Stuff, they begin to light up with various locations. I guess that is where the different types of deposits are. Remember, we gotta get 3 deposits, surface deposits, which can be shut off with some kind of laser, and then chunks will come out. I guess it's gonna be much like what it was before. But I guess maybe still different. I'm not exactly sure. Oh no. There's surface ones with like big crystals sitting on the top. I think. I can't remember. They had a focus feedback. I should have read up on that beforehand. There's going to be subsurface deposits, which is going to be stuff just below the surface, and of course core deposits. And the core deposits, again here, something asteroids. Detonate now. And stuff is exploding. And more logos and titles and stuff like that. So, we've been flying into nowhere for quite a while now. No. Stop. Thank you. Okay, let's get back into the game. And we get some sound back here. There we go. Kaboom. Yeah. So, I didn't turn on music, did I? Music volume. Go bar. There we go. So I think that the meta in terms of mining is going to change quite a lot. Right now, the way you do mining is you get yourself the ship with as much cargo hold as you can. You fill it up with limpets, and then you just go out and sit in a belt for hours and hours and hours while you collect materials. And I think that's going to change. Because that often means you would bring something like maybe you would bring an Anaconda, Type 9, Cutter, those kind of ships. Stuff that has a lot of internal compartments. But I think that the focus is going to switch over to having more maneuverable ships. It seems like Frontier has, for the last couple of patches, really been trying to draw more people to flying the medium-sized ships. Look at all the ships that's been added to the game lately. It's all medium-sized. I think we got the Type 10, and that's about the only large-sized ship we have had in years. Otherwise, it's just been medium shift after medium shift after medium shift. So I think definitely Frontiers trying to pull people into flying more mediums, and the large ships should probably be more like the. I think maybe they're gonna try and make them more like, oh wow, look at that. Like it's gonna be more rare that you see them in space. Maybe because they're not gonna be as good at certain tasks as they did before. But I think we're gonna see mining in medium ships being the new meta when it comes to mining, because of that whole exploding asteroids, and you have to go fly around them to find the correct materials and shoot at them. You can't just fly up to the asteroid and shoot at it wherever you want. I think you need to be a little bit more. You need to aim more. So maneuverability is gonna be an important part of mining, I think, and that's why I think that we will see a shift away from these huge hulking beasts with very poor maneuverability that will slowly lump through the belt and just eat everything they come across, over to smaller ships that's more maneuverable. Which is actually why I'm pretty happy that I built my mining python a while back, both because it's a ton of fun to fly and I really enjoy it. But I think it's going to be even more useful now when 3.3 launches, because I could definitely see myself spend a lot more time in that. Thanks a lot for the follow on Twitch. So it seems like that, and I've already begun to theorycraft in terms of money making methods for the next patch. Trying to write down some thoughts and some ideas for stuff I want to test. And most of the ideas I have turns out to also involve medium ships. Paul asked if I can link my mining Python build. I can. It would be just yeah, let me see if I can find it. Where did I put that? Let me see. Somewhere in here, if I go into Creator Studio and go to Video Manager, and now I should go into the game and not fly into a star. Oh, we're already in system. Hey, we are. So now we need to go to a station. Some stock. There we go. Yeah, that's a video. That's the video I'm looking for, because it's in the description under that video. And yes, there will of course be a sequel to the Lancelot video. Lancelot. But I will have. No, didn't I call it the Lancelot? Oh yeah, without E. There it is. By public. Boom, video. And yes. So you know what? I'm just gonna link the video, because that's probably gonna be a lot easier. The link is in the description of that video. Where's Twitch? So I can. Oh, I'm not even having to set up my own chat here. There we go, on Twitch as well. Okay. But yes, there will definitely be a. There will definitely be a updated mining build. I'm planning to do a like in-depth mining guide. I did that as one of the first things on the channel. So that thing is about 2 or 3 years old now. Even though it's still valid, because mining hasn't really changed. But there's some interesting things in there, and I'm gonna redo that guide. Back then it was a 3-step guide. First one I talked about fittings and modules and what you need. Second one I talked about how to find a specific location. And the final one was some general tips and tricks on what you do when you're out in the build, how to optimize your mining flow a little bit. And the last video is gonna be the most difficult one to do, because that's the part that has changed a lot. Fittings will, I guess, mostly be the same. Yeah, exactly. But yes, okay. So you're absolutely right that mining guide will be obsolete very soon. But again, it's been pretty much still up to date for the past 2 or 3 years. That's more than I ask of most videos. Come on. Serious atmospheric. Oh yeah, running passenger missions. Okay, so now I guess I want to talk about, you know what, no, let's get on the landing pad and then let's talk about how this whole thing is going to be rolled out. I think that's the next step we're going to do. Galactical Lord, you're absolutely right. Frontier says it would be a sustain, and there would be a decent reward at least for when the asteroid cracks open. But that could be 10 more credits, yeah. I still have a hope that someday Frontier's gonna listen a little bit and hear the outcry from the community and maybe dial back the grind a little bit. I'm not expecting them to change what's already in the game, but if they would please make new things to implement, not as grindy as what we have right now, that would be great. Unwillingful asks if I have any new gold rushes. I'm working on something for the 3.3 update where that goes live. That I'm going to test during the beta period. And I will post when that thing is ready and tested. Oh, landing gear. Linus, hello and welcome. We all have that hope. Yeah, we do. Okay, let's just quickly... I already have way too many windows open here. Let me just quickly find my... my spreadsheet here. And yes, I still do things the old-fashioned way. I'm just gonna get you guys with me here so you can see what I'm doing. So, here we have a list of everything I need. I colored all those red. That's manufactured because that's what I'm working on right now. And you can see I was low on conductor components, which I need to cross-trade from biotech. It says here that I need 32, so let's go and trade some conductor components inside the game. So that would be contracts, that would be, whoa, material trader, and then, oh, conductor components, trade in for biotech, and, no, let's trade in 2, and we have, no, we want some extras for next time so we don't have to go and get more. And while we are at it, I'm gonna make some basic conductors too. Like that. Okay, now we have plenty. So now I can then go back in here. And I can then color this one green. And I can delete that. So the only thing I need right now in terms of materials is all high-grade emissions. I need 60 coordinate composites. That's going to be a pain. Okay, I'm going to answer the question I've answered it a million times, but I'm going to do it again. Why don't I use EG Engineer? I did try to use EG Engineer, and it works right after I install it. I then close it and come back, open it up later. And it opens off screen, and I can't get it back. The only way to get it back on screen again is even trying to stack windows again. And trust me, I tried everything. Will not move out of the whatever it is off screen. I don't have to uninstall it, reinstall it, then it works for one session and I have to do it again. So I just stopped using it and I went back to using good old spreadsheets because it works. It just works. Okay, so right now I need a lot of core dynamic components. 60. That's going to take a while. Imperial shielding 20 is not that bad, and proto-heat radius 10 of those, that's not that bad either, but that's going to be a pain, and we're not going to do that today. Maybe I want to Yes, you know what I want to do? Let's get you guys back in game there. I want to go and... Oh, come here again. And let's just update this, because now we're no longer in... Could you update? Thank you. So we're gonna go to nearest. There we go, now it updated. And we're still looking for material traders. And I want a raw material trader. Note we have an encoded one real quick, real close. So let's head over and do all our encoded. So let's take everything that's encoded and color. What color is data? Data is blue. Blue and user friendly. Super firmware. Blue. Typical shield scans. It's also blue. Blue. There we go. The spreadsheet. You know what? Maybe I should actually start by just having a look at what I need, because I mean, it's all like 6 modified consumer firmware. That's a lot, though. Most of it is pretty low, so there's a chance they already have this. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna jump back in game. Just gonna put this over here on the other screen. That probably means that I can't see chat for a while. But just quickly here, while I look for which data I need, because there's a chance I have everything already. So first of all, we need cracked industrial firmware, of which I need 46. So cracked industrial firmware, 46. That's a check. We got that. Distorted shield cycle analysis. Distorted shield cycle recordings. Yeah, okay. I have plenty. I need 10. So that's not going to be an issue. There was the analysis. Inconsistent shield soaked analysis. Oh, inconsistent shield soaked analysis, of which I need 6 and have a lot. So that's done as well. Then the interesting one, modified embedded firmware. Modified embedded firmware, of which I need 36. I have that as well. Wonderful. And specialized legacy firmware. Specialized legacy firmware. I need 16, so I have that too. Oh, we don't even need to go here. And untypical shield scans. Untypical shield scans. We have, okay, you know what? We have all the data we need. We'll just get chat back here so I can see. Boom, look at that. So that was pretty much all the data, which is now done. So now we can column the rest. So, gotta color those yellow. And then I'm just quickly gonna run over these. Then we're gonna go and have a look at the deployment plan of the beta and what's gonna be happening at the different times and everything. So bear with me for a second. I need elements. It's a little faster to search. Okay. Luckily this is already ordered alphabetically. Cadmium, I need 10. I have 26, so that one is green. Carbon, I need 57. I have a lot. Chromium, need 12, so I have that too. Uranium. Oh, no, that's too far then. There we go. Needs 19. I have that one too. This is looking good so far. Maybe we have to go high grade hunting. Iron, 20. I have that. Manganese, 26. I have that. Come on. Oh, I forgot to color in Mercury. I missed Mercury on my sheet here. Mercury. I have 10 and I only need 6. Wonderful. Molybdenum. Need 10. 51. Oh my god. Nickel. Need 3. Have over 200. Niobium. Need 20 niobium. Oh no. We need to go and hunt niobium. Maybe we can cross-trade that. I don't know what's the higher grade of niobium. Okay. Phosphorus. I have that. Rule that one there. Need 10. I have that. Selenium. I need 10 and I have 11. Whew, close call. Sulfur. Let's just go all the way down to the bottom now. We had the sulfur, so we can accept that. Tungsten. Uh-oh. Oh, good. I have tons of tungsten. Blah, blah, blah. I need 66 of that. And then vanadium, which I need 40 of. Oh, we need to hunt vanadium as well. Okay. You know what? Let's go and hunt that, because hunting for materials on planet is something you can easily do while talking about other stuff. We'll get chat back here so I can see that now that I'm done updating my spreadsheet. Okay, what I was looking for, edb.io. Oh yeah, by the way, I should show you this. I found something really cool today. If you go into the API page on edb, they actually have every single system discovered in CSV format, downloadable, 2.8 gigs. I downloaded that file today. It's awesome. And even have a recently updated. They have lots of cool stuff in here. And you can get it from an API as well, so you can download directly. Okay, they removed the system JSON file. Fair enough. Anyway, that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for a body here. Let's zoom in a bit. Planet type needs to be a high metal content world. System reserves be pristine. And we need, what was the materials we needed? Anyone remembers? We need niobium and vanadium. Let's see if any planets comes up with that. No. We're still gonna talk about. I'm just gonna get figure out where I need to go now, and then we're gonna talk about it again. Oh, I don't want to order this by range. Oh. That looks like a winner. This system, planet 2. I can do that. And it's hopefully not too far. It's not. Okay. But before we move on, let's talk about the deployment plans of the release. So, this is the current plan for what they're gonna do. Of course, as you may already know, the first beta is gonna start here on week 1, which is starting, or well, the week on the, okay, let me try that again. The beta is gonna start on the 30th of this month. Do we have any date on fleet carriers yet? Q1? No, we have nothing on fleet carriers. Dongle Astro, can I please post? Oh, okay, hold on. If you're posting links, I will have to go and look that up. Hold on. Constantly getting sidetracked here. Dongle, post that link on Discord. Did you do that already? Elite Dangerous. Dongle, post the link to me in a PM on Discord, then I will relay it. Okay, so on the 18th, that is the day after tomorrow, if I got my dates right. Oops. Frontier will hold a live stream where they're showcasing some of the stuff that will come in first week's beta, right? So that means in 2 days, they will have a live stream. You can see what they're showing for week 1. Then there's gonna be almost 2 weeks until Tuesday the 30th, at which they of course will be streaming, and then the week 1 will start. And at this point, not everything will be available, only the visual improvements. So that would probably be the whole clouds and the lightnings and that stuff. Exploration changes, that would be the new probe launchers and all that stuff. That's gonna be like you could shoot probes to scan planets, and it's gonna be easier to locate stuff. That's gonna be added as well. Background simulation changes, interesting, and new scenarios. So those two are a little bit interesting. Let me see here what they have to write about it. I'm guessing that what they refer to is probably some new kind of signal sources. Background simulation changes. I'm not sure what that background simulation changes is. But one thing that I think is quite interesting, if we go back to this picture here. Do I have multiple open? I do have multiple open. Okay, never mind. Is in the following week, the week after the first one, then the Tuesday after, which I believe is the they showed it here in this live stream. So the live stream, the 1st of November, look at the calendar here. That means the 18th, that's when they're streaming. Oh, I don't have you on the main screen. Damn it. Sorry, guys. Okay. I've been showing pictures. Anyway. So here we have week 1. And on the 18th, yeah, let's try that again. On the 18th, which is the day after tomorrow, as you can see here. The new mission board server. Yeah, okay. Okay, so on the 18th, they will be live streaming on their channel. I don't know why they don't do it the 25th, but they do it the 18th. They'll be live streaming, showcasing the stuff, so the visual changes, exploration changes, BGS changes, and new scenarios. Will be showcased here on the 18th on their live stream. Then on the 30th, which is Tuesday, in 2 weeks, they're going to be available to PC players. Then we can go and test. We can then test it for a week. On the 1st of November, they will again be live streaming Frontier. And then this time they will showcase the mining changes and the squadrons, which will be available to us for testing on Tuesday, the 6th of November. On the need to move over to next month here. On the 8th of November, if I recall this correctly, right? I'm gonna make sure I get these dates right. Oh no, wait, I'm messing this up. Livestream, they have one on the 30th as well. Oh, okay. Okay, I'm messing this up completely. They do have a livestream on the 1st. So on the 18th, they're going to show exploration changes. On the 1st, they're going to show... Okay, so the 30th of the launch of the first one, they're going to show squadrons. That's actually pretty odd. So... the changes that's going to come for week 1 is shown on the 18th. Then on the 30th, which is the day it's available, they're going to be live streaming what's going to be available in next week's update. This is going to be a huge mess. And then on the 1st, which is they're going to be live streaming the mining, which is going to come in next... Okay, I guess it's so they both have squadrons and mining. Yeah, exactly. Squadrons on October 3rd. So I messed up the whole thing. Okay, here they have the whole thing listed. Oh wow, this is a huge mess. Okay, let me try to get this right. So the first one, they got visual improvement, exploration changes, backward simulations, and new scenarios. Exploration changes is on the 18th here. The BGS and scenarios is on the 25th, which is the week after. Okay, yeah. And then we have the update on the 30th. At which day they're going to be launching Squadrons, which is for not for that week, but that's for next week. So they're going to be streaming... Yeah, okay, so here and here, the 30th and the 1st, that's when they're going to be streaming Squadrons and Mining, which is then going to be available on the 6th. And then Ships is going to be live streamed on the 8th, which is then going to be available on the 13th? Yes, the 13th. And... then we have this 13th is going to be available. That's going to run for a week until the 20th. And then when are we going to see a launch? Well, probably, yeah, as posted in chat, pretty close to the X4 launch. Around the 30th, there's going to be a lot of stuff happening at the beginning of December. So yeah, I'll just quickly see. I can see I got a few messages here on Discord. Let me get you guys back in game while I read my Discord. Ah, okay. Thank you, Dongalora. He posted a link for the thread I was just looking at. I just didn't see that I have switched the camera over to look at the in-game thing. So, generally, I think it's good that they're doing an extended beta. Henrik, I'll just go to the planet. Thanks for the offer. Henrik is offering a planet with a lot of vanadium. I'm just gonna go to the planet I found in the system, and then I'm gonna casually run around here and find some stuff. But I think it's good. Yeah, X-Force not multiplayer. That's right. I think it's good that they're actually finally beginning to look at the core gameplay. That was the whole point of this, and they have done some, but there has been a lot of new, like adding new stuff, new ships, so they can sell more paint jobs to the game also. And I wouldn't call new Guardian bases for core gameplay. So it's nice to see that finally they're actually, now we're getting that. We've been waiting for almost a year. Actually, yeah, a year. That we're going to get those changes to exploration and to mining, which is really, really due for an update. I think especially the change to exploration is going to be great, and I am going to love the new visuals. I think it's going to make for some stunning footage, I hope. Really looking forward to that. I don't know how graphics card intensive it's going to be. I don't know if they use this opportunity to say, okay, Elite is now 4 years older. Most people have probably upgraded their graphics card since the game was launched. So maybe they can take the liberty and make the game a little bit more graphical heavy. Which I hope is going to be okay for most. Of course, there will be someone who is going to have issues if they do that, but they did say that they were gonna do that the changes they would do would not affect performance of the game. However, if the video we saw earlier is true, that they're actually gonna do some kind of volumetric blurring when you're inside nebulas, I could potentially see that being quite resource intensive. So, because everything that's volumetric is generally pretty heavy on the PC. And then yes, of course, there's the whole VR aspect. I'm just quickly checking my performance stats here. GPU graphics card is currently sitting at 41%, CPU at 38%. So, and this is while streaming. So, I definitely think that I have the headroom to take a hit if the game gets a graphical update without dropping frames when streaming. So I don't think it's going to be too much of an issue. But I know there's a lot of people playing Elite who is not sitting on a dedicated gaming build and maybe playing it off a laptop or something. And for them, there could be a problem if it is. Again, this, I must stress, this is a big if. We don't know this yet. Yeah, exactly. And VR is definitely very, very heavy on the graphic card. But no, again, the codecs, the new scanners, I think that's going to be great. I must admit, I'm a little worried about the new mission server thing they're doing. I think it's great that they're actually showing that they are willing to touch something that is as core as the mission server. Because in the past, Frontier seems to be a little afraid to touch something that's too deep in the back. I have a feeling that they had some programmers who did something way back, and now they have some legacy code that no one really knows how to correct. For instance, something like the hot colors. I mean, Frontier has in the past said that the fact that they're not changing hot colors is not... Oh, come on. Anaconda. It's not because they don't want to, but because they can't. They can't. It's just too embedded into the code. I mean, if they can change a mission server, if they can rip that thing out of the code and put that somewhere else, I guess they could also change the hot colors. I mean, I guess they say it's because then they are willing to do it, but they just can't. I don't take that. I think that's a little bullshit to say, but I don't know. I just see it as a missed opportunity. I mean, the problems I had with hot colors, and now that we're talking about it, is that most of the time when you do those matrix shifts of the color, you always end up with some of the colors being counterintuitive, or you can't distinguish between different things in your radar. That's my main problem. Is I want to easily be able to distinguish between what's a hostile ship, what's a neutral, so this yellow-orangey color, and what's a friendly ship. So I want to be able to clearly distinguish between yellow, red, and green, and also blue, so I can see wing members. All those four colors need to be distinct, and easy distinct. And many of those hot color changes, they don't do that. And the ones that do, I'm not too much a fan of. So that's why I always play with the default hot colors and don't change it around as many others do. Exactly, new mining hot is blue, but that's new. So they have changed. That's a new thing they're adding. But I don't know. To me, it just seems like a missed opportunity for Frontier. I mean, they could. I would be completely happy if all they did was say, now you can buy hot colors in the store. Fine by me. I think they're afraid to do it because there's so many people who already changed their hot colors, and if they were gonna sell it, they would have to disable it to be able to do it manually, unless they could do some fancy stuff. Unless they could make something that looks a lot better than what you could get in this, if you could do by just shifting that color matrix around. It kind of seems like a missed opportunity. But no, I was talking about, what's the gravity like here? It's not bad. I was talking about the mission server. Now, I understand that they say they're doing it for performance, because in peak hours, sometimes the mission board replies slowly, and it did at some point, but to be honest, I haven't really seen that problem in quite a few months, which makes me think that the main reason, there we go, that the main reason they're doing it is not really I mean, performance is of course a nice gain, but I have a sneaky suspicion the main reason they're doing it is because they want to get rid of board hopping. And of course they would never admit that's why, but I have my sneaky suspicions. But I did do a video about what I think mission money making without board hopping will look like in Elite. It's about a few weeks back now, I think. Oh, there's something over here. And I think we're gonna see a shift from having, instead of running, because so they also reduced the mission respawn time. Right now it's 15 minutes. It's gonna be reduced down to 10 minutes. So what we're gonna see is a shift moving over to where you would take less missions, but return to the mission board more often. So instead of having to go out now, you would have to go out for a minimum of 15 minutes to make sure that when you come back, the mission board was refreshed and you got a fresh set of missions. But with only 10 minutes, that means we can take less missions and come back and still be as effective as we were before. And that was what I talked about early on in the live stream, that this is one of the shifts that I see towards medium ships. Because we have this faster refreshing of the mission board, but less missions available per board, that means it will be more favorable of you in some cases to take a smaller ship where you probably can do the missions a little bit faster than you could in a large ship because you're a little bit more maneuverable, the ship itself is faster. So you can complete the missions, you will first of all have fewer missions, and you're also going to be able to complete them faster. So you will then return and you will have more, you will spend more, not more time, but you will return to the station more often. That's one of the things that I see as one of the potential changes in very broad terms, of course. This is... Oh, that was a lot of rocks. Do we get anything good? We did. There's a lot of good stuff here. Oh, no, not the galaxy map. But one place where I really see the mission server being a huge problem, the fact that they're going to reduce just our scanners here, where I see that being a huge issue, that is for BGS, for the background simulation communities. Because when you're doing BGS, you're so dependent on, suddenly now you have to run missions from a very specific station for a very specific faction, and they might only have 5 missions available. Now that you can't board hop for some interesting missions, you're pretty much stuck with pretty much stuck with those 5 missions. And if none of those missions really fancy your liking, well, tough luck. You have to wait 10 minutes to get something new. Beforehand, you would have at least 10 missions available. Because they are effectively halving the number of missions that you're going to have available. Because before you would have an open/private group board, and then you would get the solo board as well. So for BGS, this could potentially mean that in some situations, the grind is going to be hard. And I'm afraid that could mean that some of the people who are currently doing BGS is going to, well, be discouraged from it, because it's gonna be quite a bit more work to get the same benefit as you do right now. Yeah, okay, so Dongalore said he really wants a new big ship like Panther Clipper. Gonna talk about ships a little bit later and what I think is gonna happen. But yeah, then the new scenarios, I guess that has something to do, but didn't they say BGS and new scenarios? It's like those two things are somehow related. I don't know, it seems odd. I was thinking the new scenarios would be something along the lines, something along the lines of new, like, USSs you could go into, or something like that. This planet spawns a lot of stuff. What was the last thing in this patch, or the first week of testing? Let me see, where did the picture go? Did I close it? I think I did. That was stupid. New scenarios, background simulation, exploration changes, visual. Oh yeah, visual improvements. Yeah, that was it. Yeah, we already talked about that. That was the whole graphic side of it, the volumetric effects, or what looks like volumetric effects, but might not be. I don't know. Let me get that. Okay, where's the next rock I can go for? There's one right over this ridge here. Okay, let's Whoops. This planet is really annoying to fly at for some reason. Let's talk about the new mining changes. Now, I have really been wanting some massive changes to mining for a very long time. It's really an area of the game that has been left out and left completely disregarded for a very long time, and I think it's nice to see that they're finally doing something with it. And so far I really like what they're doing with it. It actually looks pretty cool, the whole blowing up asteroids. Now, I think for a lot of players, the whole blowing up asteroids is gonna be fun, something they're gonna do, they're gonna try it, it's gonna be fun, and then kind of the news and the news value of it is gonna die out. And then a lot of people will probably go back to do other things in the game. But I personally could see myself enjoying the new mining changes quite a lot and spend a ton of time doing that. But yeah, I really hope they're gonna bring in some more. There's been a little hazy around the exact details of how it's gonna work. The system is definitely gonna be more complicated, but I hope they're also gonna bring a little bit of player skill into it. And as I mentioned earlier, with this shift towards medium ships, again, with the new rocks here, where you have to, I guess, fly around them and position charges, and then you need to get yourself some distance so you don't blow up a rock right in your face and destroy your ship, stuff like that. I think that's gonna mean that we're gonna see a shift towards more medium ships when it comes to mining, because we wanna bring something that's a little bit more maneuverable than what we would bring today, so that we don't spend as much time trying to flip our ship around, so we don't get our ship destroyed. You could go with just like a bi-weave, I guess, and they'll go with a fast recharge build, maybe, depending on how bad the damage is, and then just take the damage and then just let the shields recharge and then do it like that. That could be a way to do it as well. Take shields. I will always bring shields on my mining ships. I have once, and that's one time too many, lost a cutter doing a mining trip because I managed to get assaulted by a rogue asteroid that jumped out in front of me and destroyed my ship. Oh, can we snipe that? Yes, we can. Exploration is going to suck without the unlimited scans. I think that, as far as I understand it, that the advanced discovery scanner is still going to be able to scan the whole system, but it's really odd because I do recall them saying back in the start, whoops, right after the whole the scanner changes was changed, I do recall them saying that they were not going to remove any effects from the scanners. They were just going to add new functionality to them so that you could still use them exactly the same way as you use them today. But now they were just going to be able to do more stuff. You know what? Let's take this one. But I don't know, it doesn't seem like that anymore, because now from the last, I think it was doing the focus feedback, they did talk about the scanners being that you would then suddenly be you would scan a system, and then it wouldn't show you exactly where the planets were, but they would just show you in which kind of direction they went. You then have to go in and pinpoint them manually or something like that. I don't know. I have a hard time seeing how those two combine, but it might just be me who misunderstood something, which is very likely. But at least I hope they're gonna stick with it, with the original set. That they're not gonna change the functionality, because frankly, it's fair enough that explorers, they can go in depth and do something a little bit more detailed. But I use advanced discovery scanners on almost all my ships, and not because I want to scan the systems, but, well, it is because I want to scan the systems. But I use them on my ships because I hate when I get into a system and, oh, I needed to go to that surface base, but I have no idea where the planet is, so now I have to go and drop out of the nav beacon and then get the information that way. So that's why I always bring a advanced discovery scanner, so I can just haunt the systems to find the planets that I need to land on. I don't have to worry about all that hassle of dropping out of the nav beacon. And if they're gonna take that functionality away from the advanced discovery scanner, it's gonna be a real pain, I think, in many cases. If you actually have to go and do some minigame to discover where the planet actually is. I guess it's a little bit more realistic, but still, I don't know. Okay, let's get this rock here. Yeah, I really don't hope those mining weapons is gonna be able to do like combat damage. Ooh, arsenic too. Ooh, love this place. So I have not been paying attention at all to what we've been picking up. So I'm just going to do a quick status here. Niobium here, I needed 20, so I have that now at least. That's good. And vanadium, I need 40, so I still need a little bit more vanadium. Okay. What are the chances for a new SRV? Slim. Very slim. In this patch, at least. Now, oh, there's nothing here. The scanner is completely empty. There's something over there. Let's go in that direction. No, okay, so chances for a new SRV I think is pretty slim, especially after now when they removed ice planets. Oh, interesting. Something medium-sized here. Unfortunately, there's a lot of cases where Frontier has a lot of good ideas and they implement it, like the bare minimum, and then they just leave it and go on to something else. SRVs is a good, it's a good thing to like. It's a good example of that. Multi-crew, also a very good example of that thing. I mean, they added something that has a lot of potential. I mean, multi-crew could be so good, but it just ended up being this bugfest that at this point has been just left to its own devices for so long now that it is almost unplayable, to be honest. I mean, the last few times I've tried to do any multi-crew, at least multi-crew when it comes to combat, it's been so buggy, where suddenly you are in the wrong seat inside the ship, or you can't activate the HUD colors, or the HUD is not there at all, or targets like getting dislodged from their hitboxes, all that kind of thing. It's constantly happening in multi-crew. It's basically unplayable, I think, and especially if you ever want to see a bug fest, get a friend and go down to the Maya or anywhere in the creative sector and try to kill a Thargoid in multi-crew. If you want to see, and that's no pun intended with the bug fest, but go and do that, and it will be ooh, what is this? Cargo. Oh, perimeter breach. Hello, SRVs. Okay, so these are not wounded, so I cannot just shoot them. Okay. I'll go and fight myself a rock instead. It might be that they're holding back content. There's a good point there. That they're holding back content for the next paid update. Because they also talked about that. It's not going to come this update, but I'm pretty sure that next year it's either going to be a completely new season pass, so you have to buy that as a new DLC completely, or at least they're going to do something, something where part of it is going to be payable, or where you have to pay for it. All Willingful had done a multi-crew while interceptor hunting and never had any issues. Okay, that's actually impressive. The last time I did it, it was basically unplayable. Yeah, video proof. I think I might have video proof of the same, just the opposite way. I don't know if I still have that video or if I deleted it after I decided not to do anything with it. Hold on, let me check that real quick. Because if I have it, it will be right here.
Yeah. Oh, is it?
Let me just mute this video. This is not multi-crew. This is just... No. I don't think I have that video anymore. Unfortunately, no, I do not. That's a shame. Anyway, Ralph's stuff. Thanks a lot for the subscription on YouTube. No, I agree with what was posted in chat, that the amount of content that come out based on how many people are actually working, and from the people who were over there visiting Frontier recently, they said that yes, that the 100 people actually working on Elite is, at least it seems like at the time, that that it was indeed 100 people working on Elite, and they were not like including like HR staff and the guy who cleans the offices and stuff like that. They were actually 100 people actively working on Elite. Of course, you need to take into consideration that they did know that the people were going to be there, so they could, not that I say they have, and I don't think they would have done it, but they could have pulled in people from other departments and said, hey, you're going to be working from this room today. I know you're not working on Elite, but you're going to be working in the Elite Dangerous room today, even though they're working on something else. They could have done that, so just, though I don't think they have. Just saying. Oh yeah, turreted weapons in multi-crew not working, yeah. Oh, that was vanadium. Was there more of that stuff? There was. I think that was actually the last thing we needed then. Right? Yeah, 42. Perfect. Let's get our ship back. Dismiss ship. Talking about bugs. Okay, now we can recall it. There we go. So yeah. Okay. Let's move on and let's talk about... We'll talk about minings. Oh yeah, squadrons. Now... Green screen staff. Extra supported for the day. Yeah. What was about? Oh yes, squadrons. Let's just quickly go over squadrons. Now, most of the stuff that I have to go by is either, of course, what's been officially posted, but also what I have from talking to the people who were at the event. And the general vibe I'm getting from people is squadrons is a little meh. Now, in the video, it looks like there was a lot of things going on with economy and happiness and whatnot. But at least what they were shown seems to have been a little, like, underwhelming. And the whole point with squadrons, when it was first introduced, or first announced, was, oh, you can have a squadron, so you can get a fleet carrier. Now, of course, fleet carriers has been delayed until further notice, cancelled, delayed, depending on how you see it. At least they have said that it's not going to be part of this patch as it was originally planned, but it's going to be coming at some point later, maybe. We don't know, kind of thing. At least it's not going to be part of this patch. And that kind of leaves squadrons in this weird place where, well, what are they good for then? I mean, why do we have squadrons if you can't do mega ships? Is it just going to be, hey, you get a fancy tag and you get a new chat channel in game or something? But I hope there's going to be more gameplay, actual gameplay around, and I hope Frontier can see that they need to have some extra gameplay around squadrons. Otherwise, if it's just you can join this and you will get a small name tag saying you are now part of the squadron and you get a, exactly, soon TM. Yes, that's an anaconda. If you just get a name tag and that's it, then I feel it's going to be a little underwhelming because you don't really add anything to the game. I mean, we don't get to do anything that we couldn't already do on, let's say, Inaura. For instance, where we already have wings that you can join if you want to. So yeah, I hope they have added something else, but it seems like they're merging it in with the... yeah, exactly, they're going to tie it into player minor factions. It seems so, at least, because the squadrons were aligned with a faction, and they seem to have like a government type and an economy, and all that stuff was going on. So it definitely seems like they're going to be tied into player minor factions. The question is if squadrons are going to replace player minor factions, or they're just going to be able to tie themselves to a player minor factions. Again, if it's just Inaura-ish compatibilities in-game, well, yeah. But at least from what I've heard, it's going to be a little underwhelming. But we will have to wait and see until the 30th of October, which is in 2 weeks, where they have the live stream on that. So yeah, that's going to be interesting. Okay, let's figure out what I need to do now, because before we continue and talk about the ships, which is the last topic I want to talk about today, I just need to figure out where I need to go now. And you guys can figure it out with me. So here we have the spreadsheet. Pretty much done. Now that we have our vanadium. Color that in. Unfortunately, that means all that's left now is hunting high-grade emissions. Do I still have EDDB open? I do have EDDB open. So, what do we need? Let's go for the easy ones here. Imperial shielding and proto-heat radiators, because we don't only a few of these. So we're gonna go and fight ourselves a system. The government, no, allegiance should be Imperial. Empire. And proto-heat radiators. Hold on, let me just check. Where do we get proto-heat radiators? Proto heat radiators. We get those in boom systems. Okay, so we need to go to a boom system. So we need to state in boom. It's okay, Henrik. It's just gonna be. I'm just gonna do this casually. Maybe when I need to find those core dynamics, because I need 60 of those. That's gonna take forever. Now, let me see. Reference systems. System. Fine. Sort by population. Let's check this system. This system seems to have only 1 star, so that's good. So in that case, I think that's going to be our system. No, it's not chocolate, it's licorice. Ah, it is on the opposite end of the bubble. Perfect. How many jumps? 5 jumps to the other end of the bubble. Hendrik says, come on, just say that you're lazy and switch to private. Yeah, licorice, nom, 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 nom. Now, let's talk about ships. So, before we start doing that, I will just quickly show you the roadmap for the beta period here again. If I can find that. Where did I put it? Here it is. Let's put that over here. Boom. So in week 3, this is where we're going to be testing the new ships with an S. Plural. More than 1. Probably means 2. And what we know so far is the Crate Phantom. Don't get it mixed up with the body droppings. You can clearly see the difference. Okay, so we have the Crate Phantom. And there was that whole leak a few weeks back where someone claimed... Okay, I'll talk you through that thing. A few weeks back, someone contacted, or someone posted a WordPress site with some apparent information about from the meeting that Frontier held with the people who were there, and that involved details on both the Crate Phantom and the Panther Clipper. So if that information is correct, then the second ship we're getting is the Panther Clipper. However, I think it's highly unlikely. I think it's unlikely because after then talking to some of the people who were actually at the event, I know they're on the NDA. They can't say anything that happened, but what they could tell me was that that information was completely bogus. And a good thing about that I'm not under NDA is I can speculate as much as I want. Because if I was under NDA, all I could really say is I can't tell you. But I'm not, so I can speculate as much as I want. But I'm pretty sure that information is bogus, mainly because there's a lot of licorice in the Panther Clipper. Yeah, that's true. Mainly because they're the people who were there and people who I frankly trust, where when they more than a random source that I've not been able to verify. I even got in contact with the guy who posted it. I asked him where did he get that information from and if he could verify his sources, and he didn't really answer. So it makes me feel like it's a little sketchy at best. I don't think that I would take that for. What I think, however, we're gonna get is some other medium ship. Maybe it's gonna be a small ship. I don't know. I don't know. I just feel like Frontiers, again, as I've been talking several times now, they're pushing more and more the medium line, and I could see them continuing to do that, even though that I feel like that area of ships is already pretty it's pretty crowded. There's a lot of medium ships. It's going to be difficult unless they bring something very new to the table to find something where it fits in. Now, the Crate Phantom, we don't really know a lot about it, but from the name, if you look at it, the thrusters, they seem to have fewer thrusters. They are positioned differently, but it seems definitely to have fewer thrusters than the normal crate. And from the name, Phantom, that sounds like it's small and light. So maybe it's a small version of the crate. Maybe it's going to be the same size. We don't know. But I doubt it's going to be bigger, at least. But again, this is all just my own guesswork. Wait, we're already in system. That was quick. Oh, signal source. We're not that lucky, are we? No. Okay, let's get out of let's get out the center of the system. Let's get out into deep space. But what I would really like to see is more ships in the large category that can challenge the Anaconda for being that I mean, pretty much any time I have to do something, it's like, okay, I want to run passenger missions. Should I get the Beluga liner? No, I'll get the Anaconda. Okay, I want to go explorations. What do I get? I'm gonna get the Anaconda. I mean, it's just such an all-round good ship. It just does everything well, that there's really no point in many of the other ships. I mean, of course, there is the Corvette, which is pretty good, but better than, I think, than the Anaconda when it comes to combat. We have the Cutter, which is the king of trade. Then we have the Type 9 and 10 ships, which is kind of doing their own thing. But I would like to see, for instance, a dedicated large exploration ship. Just like passenger ships have dedicated passenger internal compartments, I would really like to see a large ship with dedicated exploration internal compartments that could only be used for scanners, like advanced discovery scanners, detailed surface scanners, auto field maintenance unit, FSD boosters, that kind of thing. So that it would be a dedicated ship, and that would then be able to challenge the Anaconda. Because right now it's just, everyone's just flying Anacondas left and right. Fuel limpets, yeah, exactly. You get all the stuff that you would normally bring on an exploration ship. So you wouldn't be able to bring a fighter. No fighter hangar, because, well, you don't really need a fighter when you're exploring, though you actually kind of do, because otherwise you're going to get bored out of your mind. But now that they're changing exploration, maybe you wouldn't get so bored out of your mind doing that. Exactly, this posting here on Twitch. Yeah, once you Annie and the Corvette, nothing else matters. I would argue that you maybe you want a Cutter if you really like trading, but oh, hold on, there's a signal source I missed. But other than that, it's pretty much just the Anaconda. That's the dominating ship. So I would like to begin to see more ships in the large side of the game, large lineup that's gonna be more specific, more tailored towards a very specific task. Degraded the mission. Hold on, let me set my filters here. We want the star, we can see our distance, we want signal sources. Boom. And then, yeah, now you kind of beginning to have the same thing happening in the medium lineup. There's a little bit more diversity. You have the Python, which so far has been the king of multi-purpose when it comes to medium ships. And it's kind of the same story there. You have the Python, which is the best medium when it comes to passenger missions. It's the best medium when it comes to trade. It's the best. It's kind of just a medium anaconda, right? And I would again like to see the same thing happen. They did do a little bit with it. I mean, we got the crate, which was kind of beginning to walk in on the Python's territory a little bit, but not a whole lot. But I would like to see ships that would, instead of being so broad as many of the ships are, I mean, we have enough ships. We have well over 30 ships in the game. Truly, we must be able to have something that does something very, very well. But it seems like Frontier is a little bit afraid to make ships too overpowered for a specific task. So they always hold back, and then not to make them feel underpowered. They buff other areas of that the ship could do, and you end up with these indifferent kind of ships that kind of want to do everything. But I would really like to see let's say a large version of the Diamondback or the Asp series of ships that would just be a kick-ass jump ship. Maybe it would have very few internal compartments, much like the Diamondback series of ships. Not a lot of internal compartments, those ships. But they can jump. God, can they jump. And hold on, maybe we should check that the system was actually right before we began looking for Empire Boom. Good. Space price. But no, something like that I think would really, really benefit the game if they went that route with more specific ships. But I guess there's also the argument that, well, you want to have the ships being more individual. So, like, if I fly if you see an anaconda in space, you don't immediately think, oh, that's a travel anaconda, or that's a... So you cannot just by looking at the ship see what it's doing. You kind of would that if you make very specialized ships. So, I don't know. Encoded. Yeah, okay, Stock Lord says that they believe they're afraid to make longer jump rate shift because they fear that we can jump into that permit lock system. They should just, if they don't want to jump into a system, permalog it. Permalog everything. If they don't want to jump into it, they need to have a permit log on it. I mean, it's not that difficult. Instead of doing that lazy thing where they're just saying, oh, we want to log out this whole area of space, we're just going to put a ring around it with permit lock system so they can't get in because of limited jump range. Permalog the whole zone. If we're not supposed to go there, permalog everything. And then they don't have to be afraid of people jumping 150 light years per jump. Yeah, I don't know. Yes, ship loadout saves. Quick yes, thank you. Please. More quality of life changes would be so wonderful. Bookmarks on planets, like specific coordinates. Be able to bookmark those. Could we please have that? I mean, we are 1,000 years into the future. Truly, we must be able to store 2 numbers in a database somewhere. This thing can jump. Now people are saying that 50 is nothing. I said 150. Come on, Orange Jesus. No. Exactly, a slightly bigger asp would be really nice. It doesn't have to be anaconda or cutter size. Oh, there we go. It could just be like similar to what the Type 7 is in size. I think I missed that. Gotta wait till it slowed way down, then lock it again. Yeah, we can keep dreaming. And you know what? If we keep talking enough about it, eventually, hopefully, Frontier will listen someday. I mean, call me an optimist, but I hope that's gonna happen someday. And okay, I must admit, I have been getting to see small steps for Frontier towards beginning to listen more to the community. I think they're beginning to realize that there's a problem and that people are not happy with it. I think it was after the large amount of negativity after the 3.1 and 3.2 updates, the two like middle updates here, that received a lot of negative feedback. I think that was, hopefully that gave them a little bit of a wake-up call, but we'll have to see what happens. Please not another asp, we have two of them. Imperial shielding, Imperial, ooh, nice. And I didn't bring collectors, so I know I can synthesize. I do have a controller, but it's only 3 of them. I can do this manually. I've been scooping up quite a bit of materials in this ship. Oh, I missed that. Way too quick there. Where did it go? There it is. See, now it's moving. That makes this a little bit more difficult. Got it. Oh yeah, and there was the whole Gnosis incident as well. That spawned a lot of negativity. I think it's because there is a little bit of an issue with Frontier. No, let me start somewhere else. I think the issue is that the Elite Dangerous community is not one community. Depending on which platform, not talking PC console, but depending on where you look, you get very, very different types of people. If you go to the forums and read what the people over there are saying, and then you go to Reddit and read what people are saying there, and then you go to YouTube comments and read what people are saying there, it's all very, very different. And I think that's one of the problems, that the community consists of so many different people that has so like complete opposite. That you have a large group that has one opinion about stuff, then you have another large group that has the complete opposite opinion about the same stuff. And that's one of the issues. But problem is, if Frontier only reads the forum, for instance, and people over there tend to have a tendency to be very, very positive towards everything Frontier does, then of course they would say, oh, what we're doing is great, people like it. Whereas if they went in and was reading Reddit or YouTube comments, they would maybe get a different picture. But I do see small steps from Frontier towards going in that direction, that they're beginning to hopefully realize that there's more to the Elite Dangerous community than what is represented on the forums. That's just a very, very small part of it. And at the end of the day, it is in Frontier's interest to keep as large part of the community happy as possible. I mean, after all, that is their paying customers, right? Yeah, there's a little bit of you're right, there can of course in the forum be a moderation bias. Because maybe there's a tendency, and I don't think it's necessarily because there's the we only want to hear people who like us, but it can be because people who have a negative comment, when they post on a forum or anywhere on the internet for that matter, have a tendency to use a strong language whenever you post something negative. And then of course the moderators would moderate that post, maybe not because of the actual content of the post, but maybe because of the language and the words that were used in the post. Whereas if people would maybe hold a little bit back on the swear words and try to be a little bit more constructive when they gave criticism, then maybe it wouldn't be deleted so quickly. Now, I must admit, I really only come to the forums to read the news updates from Frontier. I don't really participate in many of the discussions over there, because frankly, I think it's a little bit of, as people said, there's a lot of salt on that forum. So I normally just stay away, because I don't really find many of the people there, not saying everybody, but many of the people there is not the type of people that I want to spend my time with anyway. So I normally just go to the forums whenever there's news updates from Frontier, but that's about it. But yeah, I think that's one of the issues, and I hope that's something that's gonna change soon. Eric says, honestly, I just want Star Citizens. Okay, please correct me in chat if I'm wrong, but I think didn't they just say doing their they had some kind of keynote or something like that where they said that they were gonna they're going to change the launch model for Star Citizen, so rather than having a actual launch, they're going to just continuously be able to, or continuously be adding new content to the game. I'm not sure if that's right. I haven't seen the talk myself, but if that's true, that's what they're going to do. Then they basically said, we're just going to keep adding new stuff, but we're never actually going to release the game. Which of course is a very comfortable place to be for a developer, because as long as the game is not officially released, you can always say, oh, but the game is not finished. That's why there's still a lot of bugs, so that's why this is not working, or something like that. CitizenCon, the clues in the name. The RN says, after streams I need of work, how many times have we seen something being presented that hasn't been practiced? Yeah. The guys look goofy flying. I'm really interested in seeing. Yeah. Oh, did I miss one there? No. Okay. That has been a critique point that I've seen come up more and more in the last month, that whenever Frontier is streaming, that the quality of the gameplay they're showing is not really up to par with what you would think coming out of the developer themselves of the game. Like, people not knowing how to join wings, or getting sent to, don't understand their own crime and punishment system, and getting sent to a detention ship, stuff like that. There's been a lot of people have been talking a lot about that, and I kind of understand their point, that when you see the developers, I know that the guys who are playing it, they're the community team, they're not actually the developers of the game, but it's pretty clear to see that they don't really play the game at all, other than on the streams. And I'm pretty sure they're not practicing what they need to show. They don't log in before the stream and say, okay, so I want to test this and this and this and that, and then try it out first. It seems like they're pretty much just winging it whenever they do these live streams. But I think it's a shame, because I would really like if Frontier would do some well-prepared streams whenever they showcase stuff, where they just at least have been in the game and have a vague idea of where they're going. I mean, my streams are not like very prepared, but before I start, I have an idea about where I need to go and what I want to do. Like for today, I kind of planned, okay, I have this list of materials, I'm gonna get as many of them as I can. and then I'll just look up system names along the way as I go. But yeah, I guess you get my point. That's a bit of a shame. We could use a little bit more there in terms of preparations. Now, I would really much like another high grade, because I think I got, slow us down here, I think I got the Imperial shielding. Let's go back to manufactured here. So I have 25 Imperial shielding, and I needed 20. So I have all the Imperial shielding I need now. So I just need 10 proto heat radiators. I have 6, so I need to pick up 2. I need 2 pickups. See, we can't get that before the stream ends. Oh, that thing spawned right at the edge. So it actually despawned there for a second. Distress call. I don't need no distress call. Oh. Aha! Got one. Eric says I should take over their stream. It wouldn't actually be a bad idea if Frontier invited in people that, I mean, it's fair enough. Okay, ideally I would want to see them being more prepared themselves and then showcasing it themselves. But it would be a bad idea to invite people in. I'm not saying that necessarily should invite me in, but there's a lot of very, very experienced players out there who have a ton of hours in this game. And clearly, it wouldn't be too bad to get some of those people in just to maybe showcase what you can do when you really, really know the game well. Because, for instance, I'm not a very good combat pilot. I will happily admit that. But there are some players out there who are extremely skilled when it comes to combat. And PvP, or just PvE, but mainly PvPers have a tendency to really go into details with how to dodge incoming fires and the pip management, and they have that down to a fine art. I, for instance, would love to see some of that live on Frontier's own streams. If they, for instance, had to showcase a new ship, and they say, "Hey, today we're gonna showcase the Crate Phantom. Here is insert commander name here, and he is something part of whatever community, and he's a really good combat pilot. And now he's gonna take the ship out for a spin, and he's gonna show us what the ship can do." See, that would be awesome. And obviously this time we got more Imperial shielding. Okay, so we got 5 this time. I'm a little bit lazy today, so oh, I must synthesize limpets. Xtivas asks, what did I miss? Well, most of the stream. And in a similar matter, let's say that now they wanted to showcase some new exploration changes. Well, then get some people from, let's say, Canon, or some of the people who have been organizing some of these long exploration expeditions. Oh, I had it targeted. Damn it. get some of those on and let them showcase it and let them talk about how they think it's going to influence it. So I hope you get my point that could be a way to do it. Which would also be a nice outreach, I think, to the community, because again, we talked about this, that Frontier is not the best when it comes to recognizing and communicating with the community, and that could be a step in that direction to see something like that. Yeah, and yeah, when they have to test mining chips, get Yamix, right? If they really want to showcase gameplay, they should gather materials for 4 hours. Yeah, but then you kind of lose the whole live stream idea. I get why they want to keep the live stream short, and they don't want to live stream for 4 hours straight. I'll move a little bit closer to this. So I know. Okay, my point was just lost track there. My point is I can see why they want to keep it short, the live streams. But exactly because of that, I think it's important it's being even better prepared than it otherwise would. Thanks a lot for the follow on Twitch. Whoa, well, that's an asteroid. Or part of a ship. Yeah, high grade emissions for 48 hours straight. Oh, here's an idea. How about community challenges? So the community could ask out, say, okay, what do you want us to see do for the next live stream, for instance? And you could then say, hey, go high grade emission hunting for not for 24 hours, but for just for an hour, and hopefully that could be a way for the community as well to try and highlight stuff that's not working as it should. Commander O'Brien, thanks a lot for the pledge on Patreon. Awesome stuff. Do power play in open. Run their own community goals in open. No, but that's not it. I'm not supposed to sit here and rant about Frontier all night. But I just want one more high grade. I really hope I can get those proto heat radiators. You're very welcome, Commander. Thanks. Gotta go now. Thanks for the stream. You're very welcome. Unlock Marco Quint. See, people have lots of good ideas in the chat for what we could ask Frontier to do on live on stream. That could be fun. I would watch that. Unlock Marco Quinn. Oh, signal source. Ah, degraded. Sindra asks, will we ever get longer SRV vehicles? It doesn't seem like it. I haven't heard anything about SRVs at all. So, but then again, they haven't announced anything of what's gonna happen next year. And that's actually an interesting topic. That after this patch has launched, unless of course they still have time, but if nothing else comes out, then we're actually gonna be in a situation where there is no official roadmap for Elite after this patch. Normally they would make sure that before the last patch of a series was launched, they would have also announced a roadmap for the next one, so that you kind of had an idea where the game was going. And it seems like they're not going to do that, because after they pulled the information on fleet carriers, it's kind of seemed like if you read between the lines a bit, that there's not going to be a roadmap anytime soon. And we know soon can be a very long time. So I don't know. at least I think that's a little worrying if we don't get a roadmap. I would like to see a roadmap for 2019 before the end of the year. And fair enough if we don't have it right on launch day of the new patch, but okay, so we can pretty much guess that. Okay, no, let me go somewhere. So the interesting thing here is, why did fleet carriers and ice planners get pulled? Was that because of lack of manpower, so they simply couldn't finish it in time? Maybe they encountered some kind of issue with it that they couldn't resolve before they planned the launch, so we have to postpone it too far. That could be one explanation. If that's the case, then I would definitely expect fleet carriers to be high on their priority list and be something we would see pretty early next year. But if it's something else, if it's a political decision, then we're never gonna see it. But I can't see why they would, why you would choose to not do fleet carriers. I mean, it seems like such an awesome thing. People are really hyped about it. So I guess that my guess is that the main reason was they were getting pressed on time, and they needed to make sure they could get the patch out in time, so they had to pull something. They couldn't pull in more resources, so what do? You reduce the scope and you remove content from a patch, and that was what happened. Why they exactly remove fleet carriers, I don't know. Maybe because it was one of the most demanding tasks, so that would free up a lot of resources just removing that alone. So I think they wanted to remove as few features as possible. So they took the most feature intensive or the most work intensive features, which I guess is fleet carriers because of the game developer team, and ice planners because of the graphic team or the art team would need to be offloaded as well. So I guess that's why. Wager Ice World code conflict with mining update. How? Or are we beginning and now that they're doing like massive graphical updates to Ice Worlds, maybe because they suddenly thought, hey, wait, Nvidia is working on this new ray tracing stuff. Maybe we should do ray tracing. Maybe they're gonna add some ray tracing capabilities to part of the game with a new graphic engine. Or maybe not a complete new engine, but maybe they're gonna implement the ability to do ray tracing into the Cobra engine. I don't know. And that's why they didn't want to take ice planets in. I mean, we are into very much tinfoil hat area here, so keep that in mind. Oh, there's one there. I mean, it would make sense if they suddenly see, hey, this new ray tracing technology, this could potentially be good. And if they are then anyway going to implement this, then obviously they don't want to do some brand new Ice World graphics if they have to go back and redo the whole thing in half a year because they're going to begin working on implementing ray tracing. That could actually be why Ice Planets was removed, but that doesn't explain why fleet carriers was removed unless they plan to have interiors inside the fleet carriers that we could go in and watch. Maybe not walk, but at least get and walk. That could be why. If we were able to actually get inside the fleet carriers, if they have to design a new environment, then maybe they wanted to pull that because they wanted to implement that. Again, very much speculation area here. Another distress call. Now, there's a lot of things it could be. The elite have someone invest in the company Nah, not that I know of. No, CCP got sold, I know, but I haven't seen any new I haven't seen new large investors into Frontier. But we can check that fairly easily. Hold on. So there has been a little bit of a peak lately. Since August. Oh, that's an intense fall. Look at that though. From about May end of May this year to end of August. That's 3 months. It's pretty much lost half its value in 3 months. Wow. That is actually impressive. Yeah, Frontier stocks wouldn't be a bad idea to invest right now, I think. Don't take my word on it though. But not gonna do it. When am I getting my own station? Well, my player faction has a couple of stations. But if you think one with my name on it, I don't think that's gonna happen. Degraded again. Okay, thank you, Henrik. Or maybe because it, okay, so originally when they pulled it, my original thought was that because of all the negativity at that time, because of Gnosis, because Q2 and Q3 updates, that maybe they pulled it because they were not going to be able to make it as polished as they want in time. So rather than implementing something that they know was going to be half done, they would rather pull it and then make it a complete product later, because they wanted to make sure that whatever they implemented here in this patch was going to be spot on. And I could kind of understand that. There's many reasons why that would have happened. Oh, I missed that. Damn it. Missed 2 hours. Yeah. Luckily, the stream will be available for replay after. It's been a little bit of a mess today. It's not been as prepared as I normally am, but I don't know. It's been okay, I think. I've enjoyed it at least. I just want that last high grade so I can get those damn things. So I only need my core dynamic composites. There's a high grade. Come on. Okay, I'm gonna try to slowly move back towards the star. And just gonna keep flying towards it. If we don't find it before crash into the star, I'm gonna call it. No, not really done. I need the proto heat radiators, and then I need a ton of core dynamic composites. I don't know how many do I have. I have 5, so I still need 55 of them, which is gonna take a while. Keep my speed nice and low. Oh. Yeah, it's gonna take a while to get. I don't know how that's gonna pan out, but it's gonna be a lot of sitting in Super Cruise looking for high grades. But again, if you get a good system where you can consistently get high grades, but you can consistently get the core dynamic composites, and every time you get a high grade, it's not that bad, because you need, what, 6? You could probably expect to get an average of 9 at a time. So if you get 6 high grades, you're pretty much there. So it's not that bad, but it's still gonna take a time. Why I'm getting all of this, I'm building a new ship. Building a combat federal assault ship. Yes, exactly. USSs should be done in small doses. That's why I did all the other stuff first. Because I didn't want to sit here for 2 hours running USSs, and I would no. So it's probably going to be something that I'm over the next couple days is just going to log in and log in, run a few USSs, and then so hope at least I get 1 or 2 high grades, and then log out and do something else for a while. So now we're not getting anything at all. I haven't seen it's not even a normal USS in quite a while. Nothing. Okay, we can close some of these. Oh, there's one. Break. Stop. Sitting here looking at the other screen. That's what always happens to me when I do this. I end up saying, oh, okay, while I wait for something to spawn, I can just watch something on YouTube. And I end up sitting watching a YouTube video while just flying in a random direction and just flying past by all the USSs. Degraded. Drop in and out of Super Cruise. Yeah, that would actually reset the instance. Boom. And we just instantly dropped into, well, someone being here. How did they drop in so quickly? See it there? Right ahead of us? Ooh, that's small. It's close, but I can't see it on the radar. That must be running cold. I'm not fast enough to catch it. And I can't boost. Marcus, thanks a lot for the subscription on YouTube. Still can't log it. There we go. Search and rescue patrol. Oh, I love the paint job on these things. Oh, where did they go? Ah, outside the camera range now. So just a random rescue vessel running around out here in the middle of nowhere. That's fun. Okay, let's see if that did anything good for us. Come on. There's one. Ha! Degraded. Moving too fast. No, I'm not. I'm moving like under 100 C. One to 10 C. I think I have derated sensors. Distress call. Yeah, I normally try to stick it to just less than 100 C. Still flying towards the star. Oh. Ooh, another distress call. Come on. It's always like this when you just want one more. And I'll bet ya, as soon as we get one, it's gonna be more Imperial shielding. Degraded. I have to agree with Dongalora. I don't think that the whole going this fast and this fast has anything. The only thing is if you move faster than 100, faster than 100 C, then they will move past you so quickly that you might have a hard time stopping in time before they're gone. If you don't react very quickly, if you don't like watching your screen as a hawk. Which is why I normally like to go very slowly. But I also like, whenever I find one, to clear it out so it's not inside my detection range. Come on, despawn. Oh, because I still have it locked. Yeah, exactly. Everyone has their own theories on high-grade emissions. But in about a month's time, this is all going to change, hopefully. That's actually an interesting topic, USSs. Now, it seemed like they were going to spawn in the system when you jump in. So you basically scan, you can see all USSs that's available in the system. Question is, if you're hunting for a specific material, you want to stay in the same system over and over again. What happens when you've done all the high grades that was available in the system? Do you then just log off and log back in? And then try a scan again and hopefully you get something better? Is this persistent across instances? All that stuff is yet to be answered. And that's something that I'll definitely be testing out when I'm doing my my beta live streams. When that comes out. Log out and in and jump out of the system. There's been a lot of... I don't think resetting it. We're just gonna fly into the star. That's fun. Oh. And then other times when I've been streaming, I needed high grades for... I can't remember what I was doing. I think it was doing the 24-hour live stream when we needed high grades. I got 2 in a row. And we got them in no time. Yeah, I hope highway... I mean, if you think about it, as Stonelaw says, the highway should do a reset. I hope they would, because if you look at it how it is today, if you go down to subspace and you then high waking, yeah, okay, high waking, so out of the system, I think low waking should do it as well, because if you're in a system and you drop out and then go back into super cruise, you will see the instance has been recreated. You can see it's very noticeable when you are hunting blood diamonds, because you can see the ships that are around you. You will see the same ships flying around for a very long time until you find yourself a target. You pull the target out, you take its diamonds, and you go back, and you will see all the ships are gone. And they slowly begin to spawn again over time, and then it's new ships that spawns. So it might be, if that's the case, that would actually be great if that's the case, that they resets on low waking. Because then all we really have to do would be, well, you find a high grade, you go, you do it, and while you're doing the high grade, you are low waking. So you'll come back into super cruise with a low, and then you've already reset the instance. That would be a great way of doing it. Yeah, new big ships, that would be awesome. Come on. We're still deep space, so we should still be good. Come on. Fun and engaging gameplay. Oh my god. Yeah. I like that. We talked about it on one of the route tables where Exegesis mentioned it as well. That instead of just having like random materials drop, that you collect some kind of like trade-in token, you can then trade in at the material trader, and it would be easy. So grade 1 cost 1, grade 2 cost 2, grade 3 cost 4, and then double it every time. That means that grade 1 you can get those very cheaply, or you can just maybe triple it every time so it matches the cross trading rate. I don't know. They'll figure something out, but something like that would be good. Hey, there's one. Gimme. And maybe you could even go and say, okay, so you can get a grade 1 token, a grade 2, and a grade 3. So that would be a token for each grade. And then you could instead of having to trade up and down with the tokens, they could have the same trade system where you could take a grade, you could take 6 grade 1 tokens and make it into a grade 2 tokens and then trade up like that. And then similar in the opposite way, 3 of the larger tokens to trade down for 1. Oh, sorry, 3 to 1 we trade down, 6 to 1 we trade up. Exactly the same exchange rates that they have now, just with tokens, and then you just use those tokens to buy the materials you want. Come on. Give me the stuff I need. Yes! No! Are you kidding me? So I get proto light alloy, proto radiological alloy. I need proto heat thingies, right? I need proto heat radiators, and I get the 2 others that's available in boom systems. RNGesus, I hate you. That would make it too easy if they don't want that. No. But okay, so if they implemented the system like that, then you still have the issue of what happens if we will still be able to collect it manually, maybe. Or let's say you were still able to collect them somehow manually, right? What would then happen if you get stuck with some material, you have a ton of it? Maybe they should just keep the cross-trading system as they have now, and then just also add the tokens that you can go and trade in, and then make the tokens a little bit more difficult to get, but in the long run they would be really good if you could store those up, so when you had to go and do engineering, you would already have all the materials needed stored in tokens. The ships in Isunor, yes. No? Okay, I was not... Okay. They do, but that whole thing is kind of a little... it kind of got nerfed a bit at the last patch. It's not as good as it was, so that's why I'm doing this now like this instead. And I'm pretty sure if I go down and see how much I have of all this proto whatever stuff, I pretty much guess I have a ton of it. Yeah, okay. So I have 39 light alloys. I have 16 radiologic. Okay, it's nice we get a few radiologic alloys so we get those, but I really need those heat radiators. Slacker feed says found about 80 proto heat radiator alloys today. Good for you, I guess. Oh, there we go. Yeah, you're right. I would be better off moving to a Federation system right now, not Alliance, Federation, to get the cores. But I just want to get them in this system because now we were here. I didn't want to. I was planning to call the stream pretty soon because I just thought, oh well, we'll just fly back to the star and then crash into it and then call the stream then. Yeah, we're no longer in deep space, so now we can just go full throttle. Let's see if we can. See how close I can aim it from 2,000 light seconds away. I think that looks pretty good. Let's see how close we hit. No more touching the controls. We're drifting off to the side. We're drifting off to the right. This is space golf. And I think we're also hitting a little bit low, but this is... Oh, it's gonna be damn close. We are gonna miss it, that's for sure. We're gonna pull back on the throttle, just so we stop. Still not touching the joystick. Just pulling back, just controlling the throttle, that's it. That's not too bad. I mean, like, what? Gonna get down to 20 light seconds? Yeah. Can we get down to 10? Yeah. 8, 7. About 7 light seconds. We're less than 7 light seconds off the start. That's not too bad, given that we started out at 2,000. We aimed it like that. That's okay. I can live with that. It's less than 1%. It's less than 0.5% off. Okay, that was pretty close. Now obviously I am touching the joystick. Okay. Boom, there we go. Okay. I think I'm gonna call it for today. I really hope that you liked today's live stream. It was a little bit, it got a little bit messy doing the live stream. I think it wasn't as well planned as I would have liked it to be. But at least I hope that we still have some good talks, and it was that you found it interesting. And if you did, remember to go down, give it a like. If you're on Twitch, follow the channel over there. Frame drive. Oh, okay, my frame drive. Fair enough. And if you're on YouTube, remember to hit the subscribe button. If you want to support the channel, there are links below, both on Twitch and YouTube, for one-time donations, but also if you want to support on a more regular basis, you can do that on Patreon. It would be very much appreciated. And if you support with more than $10 a month, you can get your name listed as a supporter at the end of every video that I do. So yeah, I really hope you will consider that. So how long I've been alive? I've been live for 2.5 hours now, so quite long. But anyway, don't start the frameshift drive now. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching, guys, and until next time, I'll see you guys in space.